Hi, it's Ross from Moshville Times here, and I'm with Ally Dickaty from the Virginmarys. How are you doing?
Yeah, man. Very good. Just doing my thing.
Glad to hear it. So you've got a new album due out in a few days. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's a reworking of an album called A House Beyond the Fires that we released late 2024. And it's yeah, kind of reimaginings of 90% of the album. Alternative versions, more kind of piano led. Um I'd say there's quite a lot of influences on there, but it's completely different to the original album.
So what actually inspired you guys to do this version of it?
Well, since we released King of Conflict and which came out with Stripped, which was acoustic versions of that album, that went down really well. A lot of people have kind of asked us, are we, when are we doing that again? We wanted to do something different when if we were ever to take it on. And Danny has always liked the way the songs come across on piano because having stayed at Danny's family house throughout the years, um, a lot of the time, there's always been a piano in the house, and I've written quite a few of the songs on piano, and he's always loved the way my voice meets the piano. So he was kind of a big, he kind of led the way into this project. I think it was after the tour last year, got on it and see what I could do, how to make it different, how each track would work. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. It's a lot different to what fans may expect or be used to, but I think it's a good piece of art.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. It's incredible. Like, it's one of the most beautiful albums I've ever heard. I was blown away the first time I heard it.
Ah,
Um,
cheers, man.
you
Yeah, I
know,
mean, I hope that because it's such a departure, it's not a rock album. There's
mhm,
kind of hints of all sorts in it. I'd say there's bits of Pink Floyd within it, who are
mhm,
kind of a rock band, but
yeah.
there's all sorts running through it. I wouldn't really know if someone said to pick a couple of genres, what would be best to pick, do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you approach rearranging the songs? Because you've not just transposed the guitar into like the keys, and obviously I've noticed that there's like subtle rearranging of lyrics, like they're and like verses are in different orders and everything. What all inspires all that?
Yeah, so that's kind of it's taking the idea and just getting the what I see, I guess, as the bones of it, and which may just be one line or whatever, and just seeing where what comes to me, I guess, like completely rewriting. Um, so quite a few of the songs are different chords or definitely different rhythms, and seeing how it works with the piano. I mean, I've kind of improved a lot on the piano. I never really considered myself as a pianist, definitely, but it's just pretty much as if I was starting from scratch. But I have a set. I have some lyrics in front of me and see how I can see what I can make of it. But that's kind of what I enjoy most about being in the band and writing. I love to write.
Yeah, because as well, you used a lot of piano when, and or I should say keys, even when you did the People Help the People tour like 10 years ago, like a lot of that got transposed over to keys when you were performing those shows.
Yeah, that's right. I think I was did stuff like last weekend, maybe Moss to a Flame. Songs
Yeah,
that kind of would predictably or were more predictable to kind of lend themselves to keys. Um,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah, I
vaguely
mean,
remember
it's a
like,
fun process.
sorry, I vaguely remember like Motherless Land as well, maybe being on keys as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've done. We did a tour of the States one time. We were playing in this casino where we did a few casino gigs. I remember having to load the gear through, almost trekking kind of a mile through corridors and, through hotels just to get to
Mm,
this where the gig actually was situated. And there was a grand piano in the backstage of one of the casino gigs that we played. And that's where I started messing around with Motherless Land.
mm.
Um, so yeah, I've always loved playing piano. It's kind of completely different to um, writing with a guitar. It kind of brings a completely different take. So you just play a few notes, and it's kind of like you take a completely different path to what you would have done with a guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to talking about the actual album. How did Danny manage to not hit his kit as hard as usual?
Yeah, I think it was probably quite difficult for him. I know historically whenever it's come to the acoustic stuff, he's more kind of like just do it on your own. Al. I don't want to, and he certainly will. He never ever will play one of them cajons. Or is that the
Y-
correct word? You sit on the.
Yeah.
Um, so it's always. I think maybe he's done stuff with brushes and a snare before. This was
Mm,
a lot different. He came around to mine and we just set up a kit in the smallest space you would imagine, and it was just good fun, man. I mean, like we've been doing it for that long. We were kind of willing to try all new stuff, but I know that he definitely finds it harder to um, perform as comfortably in that.
mm,
Uh, like I think his foot's so used to kind of like smacking the bass drum, and
yeah.
but he's the most kind of capable, talented drummer that I know. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, he did a great job. I mean, his kind of beats of a big part of um, the feel and the direction of the songs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to like sign this album now saying hit him soft instead of hit him hard.
Yeah, he'll have to. He can't write that on this album,
No,
can
I absolutely cannot.
he?
Um, so the video and single for White Knuckle Riding is out now. Obviously, as always, like you guys have done for like the last however many years now. It's such a visually striking video. Like, where do the ideas come from? Like, I know a lot of it's from Danny. Like, do you have any input or like do you give any ideas to him?
The only input I think that I would give is maybe like I don't know if I'm comfortable with this particular scene or whatever
Mm.
it is, but I've pretty much done um, everything that was asked of me throughout these videos. I mean, since me and Dan have known each other for a long time, and he's always been hugely into films. Like when I first started going around to his house, he had Sky Movies, and um, I was never into watching films at all, really. And
Mm.
he kind of educated me on all this stuff. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's just a big part, just as the design is, it's a big part of his kind of creative side. And um, I try to kind of minimize any input that I would have on the videos, whether I don't know, it's his thing. I'm happy to kind of I always say, just let me know what it is, direct me, and it kind of takes pressure off me to kind
Hmm.
of, I just focus on the music um, but I know that he's kind of thinking of stories and treatments and like this James Bond thing. I think he'd had for maybe a year or more, and he was originally thinking about it for the original of White Knuckle Riding.
Mm.
And but yeah, I mean, you would have to ask him where his ideas come from. But I know that any film that I ever say, have you seen this? Like a really obscure thing from like the 80s or 90s that I might have watched somewhere, he tends to have seen it, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. Also in this album, Northwest Coast and Trip in New York City didn't make the jump over to this new version of the album. Was there any reason those two didn't make it over?
No, there's no reason at all other than um, there was a time limit. We did 4 tours last year, and I was trying to find the time to kind of, well, just use the time the best that I could. And it takes half the battle is coming up with where the song's going to go, and then the other half is record. Because I did the recording and editing and everything, in house. So um, it was just that them two particular songs didn't happen, or maybe say they might have sounded too similar to an idea I already had for another one. So
Hmm.
it wasn't any kind of conscious decision.
Yeah. And you've also put Veteran Soldiers onto this, which you released a few years ago on, I think it was like a one-off download, if memory serves, and like, but because of the way the original was, this one now actually sounds bigger rather than stripped back, and it's quite
Yeah,
nice to
yeah,
see
that's
that.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that kind of. I think I wanted to put that on because this feels more of, rather than an official album where we're looking to go to radio and this and that. It's more of a kind of personal
Hmm.
approach, and I kind of Veteran Soldiers is largely about me and Dan and kind of the fans that we've had or that we have. It kind of felt good to put it at the end, as in like a kind of thank you to the like a nod to the fans to keep this whole kind of project and idea afloat, if you know what I mean. So that was a cool thing to do.
Yeah, like especially like when I saw it was at the end. That's kind of what my thinking was because obviously I've heard you talk about the lyrics before, and like I thought because of the vibe of this album, it'd be perfect at the end, sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
it works brilliantly. It's like basically like a coda almost.
yeah, yeah. That's it, man. I mean, it's like I don't know where I would place this album in kind of like the next official album. I don't know what the correct term is. Isn't going to be like this.
Mm.
But maybe there'll be kind of like certain little touches.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just a nice thing to do. It's like I don't think I see other bands doing that type of approach. And I used to love them old kind of MTV unplugged kind of
Hmm.
Neil Young, Nirvana, and listening to some of. I was never a big Nirvana fan. I think that unplugged album was the first time that I connected more with Kurt Cobain, and his
Hmm.
songs. And yeah, I just think it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned about not many bands doing it. Tiger Cub did it a year or two ago with their last album, like The Perfume of Decay, and they just called it the same, but at the end it was like The Perfume of Decay Redux, and again, like it's the exact same album. It's just all these songs have just been reworked. It's not just them sitting strumming acoustically. So
Right. That's
it's
cool. I'll have to check
yeah,
it out.
yeah, absolutely. Like if you listen to the actual real version or whatever you want to call it, and then this Redux version, like it's like hearing a totally different album.
Completely different albums, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool, man. I mean, like, especially um it's important these days as well to kind of have something to keep fans engaged and you
Uh,
people like seeing the name for the first time. You don't want it to kind of disappear. And I don't want to, well, I know we don't want to kind of release an album that's weaker than what we've just released. But it's just not ready to do it the following year, if you know what I mean. I kind of have to come up with new ideas and have a bit of space to think about what we want to achieve with it. So this kind of felt like a good thing to do in the meantime, you know.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So would you actually consider like doing another album like this, like maybe like a compilation of like past songs reworked in this fashion, like stuff from like Divides and All the Sun sessions and the EPs that came in between and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, if I had a lot of time, then maybe, but I can't foresee it for like the next thing will be the the next album,
Hmm.
and then after that, there's a few things that we kind of wanted to do that we haven't done yet. But maybe, I know that um I can take some of them old songs and make them really great, definitely. But it's not something that I would want to kind of do within 2 weeks and release. It's something that I want to be able to stand by and um, be happy about. So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out, but it's certainly not kind of on my list
Yeah.
priorities at the minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. So you're also going to be taking this album out on tour soon. What can people expect from these shows? Because obviously, if you're performing these kind of songs, it's going to be completely different live as well.
Yeah, we've spoken about kind of the aesthetics of the stage setup to kind of make it a bit kind of MTV unplugged esque. We've
Nice.
got a new person with us that's Gareth Price playing guitar, so I'll be on the keys. I mean, Gareth's I would say he's a better guitar player than I am. So he's able to kind of nail the solos and the touches. Um, I am going to be kind of a more vulnerable kind of point of playing. Like I don't play the piano live, and I like messing about on it, but I will be trying my very best to not kind of mess up. I'll probably look like someone who's just passed the test driving, if you know what I mean. Kind of like really, but it'll be interesting. It'd be great. I mean, uh, it's something new, so
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Kind of, apart from shitting myself.
Uh, Obviously, you've mentioned Gareth there. Anyone that's been to a Virginmarys show knows that he's basically the band's right-hand man, both like physically and, metaphorically. He drives, he guitar techs, he sells merch, he's TN for you guys. He's pretty much done it all. Like, but how does it feel that you're going to be actually playing in a band with him now?
I mean, it's awesome. I'm really happy that he's so happy about doing it. To be honest, like because he's been a big fan of the band, and obviously he's worked really closely with us, and one of our best mates. So to us, it was kind of like a no-brainer. But
Hmm.
to see that he's actually he's really excited about doing it, I'm really excited for more people to see what he can do on the guitar.
Hmm.
But it'd be great. I love him to bits, and any time that I can spend with him is, you know, a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's an amazing guy. He's just one of life's
He's
good
the best.
guys.
Yeah,
And yeah, like his guitar skills are absolutely phenomenal. Like even when he's just like sound checking for you guys, like you can just see what a great guitarist he is. And like when he came on stage and did an AC/DC song with you guys a few
yeah,
years
that's
ago at
right.
one of the Macclesfield shows, like that really showed like anyone who wasn't really aware of who he was, like, holy shit, this guy can play, sort of thing.
Yeah, and he's fucking, he's massively popular within the. I think he got the biggest cheer of the night when he came on for the to play guitar. So he seems to win people over with
Yeah.
his being. But yeah, he's an incredible player.
Yeah. And you've just literally just finished a tour in Europe and you had a couple of shows back in Britain just to end it off there. How was that and how do European shows differ from UK shows?
I'd say this time around, like the European shows, there was so much kind of dancing and movement, and everyone was really up for it.
Hmm.
Like really proud of the momentum that we've managed to get in, Germany, Netherlands, France, Denmark, like because we've been over and played to 20 people. So to then kind of fast forward some years, and I think like Hamburg, Cologne, and Berlin with like nearly 200 people. It's an amazing feeling. And seeing people, singing the lyrics at
Hmm.
the top of the voices. And then we came back to join us in Southampton, and that had sold out, which was, we've been playing that venue for years and
Hmm.
not sold it out. So overall, it's been a great couple of months in that respect.
Hmm.
It feels like me and Dan have kind of been doing the same thing for that long, but suddenly, maybe since it's two piece, something seems to kind of maybe we've eventually come into fashion. You know what I mean? The wheels
Yeah.
kind of like turned, and it's like, oh no, these guys are great, and what we're
Yeah.
doing is now original or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of thought you guys are just such an original band anyway. Like when like I was a teenager and I heard you guys, I was just like, I've not heard anything like this before, and I've still not heard anything like you guys to this day. Like I've not even really heard like anything that would come close, sort of thing, which is
Yeah, cheers,
cool.
man. Well,
Um,
I've kind of felt like that. That when I was growing up, um, I kind of got into a scene of a lot of like hardcore punk and art rock, and I kind of moved away from that to do something that felt more authentic to me,
mm,
rather than just copying someone else's thing because I thought that it was like a cool niche. Or so I've since then I've kind of just stuck with what felt the most organic, but then um, tried to be the best singer or the best, take bits from different kind of influences. And I've kind of been proud about how original that I see us as being. But historically, when we started out, you would have we get reviewed by students of the fanzine and the kids
mm,
who were playing kind of carbon copies of 80s post punk or whatever. They're really original and were somehow kind of like pub rock kind of. I never quite understood that, but we just continue doing what we're doing, and yeah, suddenly kind of it feels like we're deemed fresher, or I don't know.
yeah, and there's just been like you guys have just been on a lot of tours lately as well. Like since like lockdown, like there's been like the Ricky Warwick tour, Ugly Kid Joe, Sisters of Mercy, Massive Wagons. Like there's been
Yeah,
so
man.
so much
So
that
that's
side of
that's
things as
definitely helped
well.
to pick up the fans, hasn't it? And build up the shows, and then the support in Planet Rock and Kerrang, and
Mm,
I mean, it's been massively welcome. you know,
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. So you've got some festival dates lined up too over the summer, like 2000 Trees, Made of Stone, Firebolt, and then you've got some shows as well supporting Lagwagon and Europe, like dotted throughout the summer months. What else have you got planned for the rest of the year?
Well, most of my year, I hope, is going to be the um, the new album. And then by the end of the year, hopefully, like another tour or support tour to lead us into the following year to release the album and do like a biggest headline to date.
Hmm.
Kind of make a mark, make a statement with the hopefully kind of play in the bigger venues, see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Um,
Yeah, man.
yeah, absolutely. Just if you are touring like later this year with a headline show, just like make sure that town up in the north like starts with a G gets included. Like I know how much you guys love
Okay.
it.
Not the one with the E.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great chatting to you as always. The album's absolutely great. I can't wait to see you guys play it live. I'll be at the London show and I'll be seeing you guys as well at Breaking Bands when you guys headline that.
Awesome, mate.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so we'll see you then.
Always good to see you, Ross.
This episode is copyright The Moshful Times, introductory music by Elliot Alderman Broom, and any music used throughout the episode is copyright to the original performers and creators.